Before start this video, please subscribe my channel and click on bell icon. Thanks.
Known by some as the ringed planet, Saturn is famous worldwide for its stunning ring system and is the most recognizable planet in the solar system. As for the rings, they do a rather quirky thing. They perform a disappearing act every 14 to 15 years. It was the great Galileo who first observed the missing ring system of Saturn that he scientifically described as looking like ears. This phenomenon must have had many an astronomer pulling their hair out. The reason why they disappear is kind of like an optical illusion, but not. What actually happens is that every 14 to 15 years, Saturn rotates so its rings get fixed in an edge-on direction directly toward us, causing them to only seem to disappear from sight. However, obviously, they're still there and didn't go anywhere, they simply become invisible to us. And the reason is clear and simple. The thickest ring in the system is only 98 feet, 30 meters, thick, and we're 887 million miles, 4 billion kilometers, away. They're just too astronomically thin for us to see from Earth, so they become invisible. Saturn also just happens to be an excellent performer, by the way. Please read on to learn more astounding facts about this majestic gaseous giant. Related, top 10 giant facts about the dwarf planets. 10 How and why the Romans named Saturn. Saturn, how did the planets get their names? The ancient Romans could plainly observe the 7 dominant celestial lights of the night sky, the moon, the sun, and the 5 most luminous planets. And they named them in honor of their gods. According to Roman myth, Saturn taught his charges agriculture by teaching them how to farm their land. Saturn also ruled time, is the father of Jupiter, and is the namesake for Saturday, or to the ancient Romans, Saturn's Day. The Romans revered Saturn so much that they held a huge annual festival in its name that they dubbed Saturnalia. During this extravagant affair, some things normally frowned upon, and even forbidden, were tolerated. For instance, gambling was completely outlawed, but one could gamble during Saturnalia, but only with nuts to bet with. They didn't allow money to be used as a precaution to ensure the return to the golden age of Saturn. Obviously, they didn't wish to anger the gods. Don't you just love the Romans and all their reasons to party? 9. You couldn't stand on Saturn even if you wanted to. Why can't you walk on Saturn? Saturn is not just a ball of churning liquids and gases. In fact, it is made up entirely of them, which is why there's no solid surface to land or stand on. Ironically, a spacecraft would have no problem with the atmosphere, which is made up almost exclusively of hydrogen and helium, 75% and 25%, respectively, with trace amounts of substances like ammonia and methane. You can't stand on the rings either, even though they look solid from millions of miles away here on Earth, because they're made up of billions, maybe trillions of particles of ice and rock, ranging in wildly varying sizes, from a grain of sand to a skyscraper. Another truly astonishing fact is that planet Earth outweighs Saturn's entire ring system by an astronomically unbelievable 200,000 times. Even though there's nothing to stand on, Saturn does have a rocky core, but its surface gets hotter than the Sun's at 15,000 degree F, 8,315 degrees Celsius, while the Sun's surface is only 10,000 degree F, 5,537 degrees Celsius. The gas giant's core gets up to a rather toasty temperature, so even though there is rock on Saturn, walking on it would be a very unpleasant stroll in the park. 2.8 How old are Saturn's rings? How Saturn got its rings? The planet's Earth lab. Contrary to popular belief, Saturn's rings aren't thought of by scientists to be 4.5 billion years old any longer. Recent studies using data sent back by the Cassini mission have many planetary scientists scratching their heads while at the same time accepting the theory that Saturn's ring system is young, only 100 million years young. This is, in fact, a far cry from the 4.5 billion years of the ousted one. The kicker was quite simple: the material that the rings consist of is too clean and dirt-free. Simply put, after so many billions of years, the rings would have gotten so dirty, we would have never been able to detect them from here on Earth. The latest theory on the formation of the rings involves the existence of a long-missing moon. After having its orbital path disrupted by Titan, it was forced in too close to the gas giant by Titan's gravitational influence and additional tidal forces supplied by Saturn. This then tore the unfortunate satellite asunder into billions of particles. It is these particles that scientists postulate are what formed Saturn's stunning and iconic ring system that we're all so familiar with, but only 100 million years ago, not 4.5 billion. FYI, Saturn can be seen with the naked eye after the sun sets at night. Under magnification, it has a murky yellowish-brown look to it. The rings can be seen with just a 25x to 40x telescope. In fact, most sighting scopes mounted on telescopes would suffice to view the rings of Saturn. Three, 1 year on Saturn is 30 Earth years long. How long planets take to orbit the Sun? Solar year of other planets as compared to Earth. As I'm sure you're aware, a year on any planet anywhere is recorded by a completed orbit around its host star. For Saturn, one orbit of the Sun takes 29 Earth years. How would you like to live to be 70 on Saturn? You'd only be 2,058 Earth years old by then, but hey, who's counting, right? There are several theories of why Saturn takes so long to complete an orbit around the Sun. First, some point out that Saturn is 10 times further from the home star than Earth is, and it travels through space at a much slower pace. They believe that's the reason: it's simply moving slower through space and has a very long way to go to complete an orbit. Others postulate that the rings cause a strong magnetic field that exerts a bipolar-type force affecting the planet, like a car when the driver is riding the brakes, by causing drag similar to what aircraft experience here. As stated, there's the astronomical distance Saturn has to travel to orbit around the Sun, 4 billion miles. Now that's one long road trip. 6 Saturn is really, really big. Saturn. How big is Saturn actually? Saturn is simply ginormous. So much so it would take over 700 planet Earths to fill the gas giant. Of course, it is second in size only to Jupiter, the largest planet in our solar system. Thanks for watching. Credits to listverse.com. Please subscribe my channel for more videos.